Reverend Emile Govro, but remind everyone that our theme for the entire year is Sowing Seeds of Greatness. Our theme for the month of February is Sowing Seeds of Love. And Reverend Emile's topic today is Choose Love. It is my pleasure, I know almost everyone in this room knows him, but not everyone in this room knows him. But we literally are standing on his shoulders. He was the senior minister and spiritual director here before me, and this community is what it is because of his leadership and his consciousness. And what I know about Reverend Emile is he is the embodiment of love, pure love, just a love bunny in my view. We go back 30 years. And it is my pleasure to share him with you today. So please welcome Reverend Emile Govro.
Thank you. All right. Got the little green light on, so we're good. Put my glasses on so I can read the notes if I choose to follow them. Well, you know, the music always changes the message. It's just, that's the way it is. And I have to say, the first song, the Let Your Love Flow, that's the song I made my debut on electric guitar on this stage with. On, I think it was Wednesday of that week, the then music director announced that he wasn't going to be here on Sunday. And I had to be it. And I'd been taking guitar lessons for 3 or 4 years at that time, so that was okay. But then we had to figure out the songs and all that good stuff. But that was the first song that I did on this stage with the band in that way. I did others before that. But anyway, and I'm loving the bass over here. I have to find out more about it later. So Choose Love, I chose this topic because I've been watching a lot of football because Jan is a big football fan, and I've always liked it but never watched that much. And I noticed on a lot of the teams on the back of their helmets this year, at least in the playoffs, it said Choose Love. Some of them say unity, some of them say others. But the day that I was needing to have a topic, the LA Rams were playing, and on the back of their helmets it said Choose Love. And I said, that's it. That's what we need to be doing. They're putting the message out. So that's how we got here. And the theme is love, of course, so I knew that. And I think choosing love, so we choose love, we rest in love. We've been singing about love this morning so far, and Reverend Denise says we're a community of love, and we all have love. These glasses are great close up, but not to see the rest of y'all. But do we live it all the time? How do we respond in love? There's been a lot of upheaval in our world in the last, you tell me how long, year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever. But how people have been asking, from different denominations, through friends and relatives that we have, how do I stay in love? How do I love the people that don't seem so lovable right now? How do I respond in love with love? And I think the answer, and I've been telling them, okay, so you need to, sort of absorb, relax, not respond, not, be in a place of absorbing your own love and your own peace. But I think the answer comes from, do we love ourselves? Do we love ourselves to the point that we can be at peace with who we are in every situation? Because that gives us the grounding, the place we can be, the place we can relax into as the situations around us might seem like they're in total turmoil. Ricky Byers has a song that goes, I love myself so much that I can love you so much, and I love you so much that you can start loving me. So think about that. If we're enough love, can we then have it come back? I mean, that's what Ernest Holmes teaches us. What we put out, we get back. Short little talks called, I think it's called Alive Again, remastered tapes from like the 1950s of Ernest Holmes. And he said, you know, if you want to be loved, you have to be lovable. So am I being lovable? Is that's the question we need to ask. Am I being loving? Am I being in a situation where I live what I say I want to see in the world? And you must have been listening to me. I've written down here as my note: love supports, love heals, love brings peace. So right from Karen Drucker. And Ernest Holmes said, think of the whole world as your friend, but you must also be the friend of the whole world. In this way, and with this simple practice, you will draw to you so many friends that the time will be too short to enjoy them all. Refuse to see the negative side of anyone. Refuse to let yourself misunderstand or be misunderstood. Do not be morbid. Know that everyone wants you to have the best. Affirm this wherever you go, and then you will find things just as you wish them to be. And then there was a note in the global thoughts for today, and it says, walking the edge of life means showing up for the truth that lives within us and allowing that truth to move through us in real, visible ways, even when it feels risky. So it might be risky to put yourself out in love, to put yourself out in friendship, to some people might think that as being vulnerable. If I'm loving and that person is not being loving, then maybe I'm vulnerable to their behavior in whatever way that might show up. But I think we have to stand in that place and absorb our own ability to be in a place of risk, our own place of building strength, building that muscle, because the more we practice love, the more we practice that, like practicing prayer, as the practitioners know, you build your prayer muscle. You build that ability like Patrick had to speak freely from his heart. He's not trying to make up the words and worrying about what he's going to say. He's speaking from that space, that center of his being. So what does it look like to live in our truth? How do we show up? How do people tell we're living in a manner that is consistent? Well, we all exude whatever, an energy out into the world. And it tells everyone else who we are. Reverend Denise gave me the compliment of embodying love. That's a heavy burden, my dear. But I like to think of myself that way also. So I don't disagree with you. I just aspire to it. And I think in that aspiration, I continue to get closer. And I think that's where we want to be. And I love the idea of, rather than trying to be understood, try to understand, which means, one of Pam's favorite books in the practitioner training was 7,000 Ways to Listen. There's a big joke between us. But the idea is, can we listen more than we talk? And, there's that thing about we have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, so use the ears more than the mouth. And in that way, we understand other people and we understand who we are, because then you can actually listen to what's going on within your own being. How am I responding to that person? How do I express myself in such a way that love is what is being received, that acceptance is what is being received? Also from Ernest Holmes, and we talk about the embodiment of spirit, the embodiment of the infinite. It was in the prayer that we're all one. And Ernest Holmes said, mind made us free. And in that freedom, we may turn to it for guidance, but nothing forces us to turn. If we turn in recognition of what it is and what we are, we may accept as a result of this direct relationship a new set of values, a stronger faith, a more complete sense of belonging to life, an influx into our minds of a greater awareness of the true nature of the great creative power that is the source of all things. So this idea of embodying means we're turning within, looking for that answer, looking for what is actually there. Who are we? How are we? And how does that express? How do our beliefs express as us? What do we lead with, so to speak? Are we leading with anger? Are we leading with love? We're leading with acceptance? We're leading with peace? Because in the end, we all want to feel that peace that passes human understanding, that peace that allows us to be still in any particular moment so that we can actually hear what's going on, to hear the messages. If you ever have a moment where you've got difficult decisions or you seem like you've got a lot of confusion going on in your life, the skill to have in that moment is the ability to be still. Oh, how can I be still? I can't sit still. I remember early on when I met Patrick and Stephen said, I can't meditate. I can't sit still. And then one night in a meditation class that I was teaching, I did different techniques. We did a visualization, and he was like, oh, that's it. I can do it. And there've been, I have my own moments. What is it? What works for me? But to be still allows us to hear, allows us to listen to the inner voice, that still small voice that's always speaking to us, but sometimes we've got too much noise going on to hear it. And it's speaking from that place of love, that place of joy and acceptance that we can have in the world. I wondered whether I was going to use this quote, but here it comes. This may require change. Anybody like to change? I bet you all like to see other people change, but not you. He should, she should, they should, why don't they? I should. I need to. Yeah. So we generally seem to resist change, even that which is better for us. We also appear to resist being what we really are. We need to learn carefully and surely to permit ourselves to accept the fuller expression of the mind that is within us. This is from Ernest Holmes' New Design for Living, which I think they're using in the new Foundations class, yes? I like that book. It's kind of a 1950s rewrite of what he wrote in 1926, so it's not such heavy philosophical language. It's a little more understandable, but we generally seem to resist change. Anybody, obviously not you all, because you're all evolved to the point where this isn't the problem, but they keep saying that they want to do something new, they want something better in their lives, a better way in their lives, but they seem to gravitate back to the pain that they've been living with, to the habits they've been living with. He says, well, why don't you change? Oh, I just don't know if I can do that. It's like, but it's like the grass is green over there and it's not over here. It's what are we willing to do? What are we willing to give up? Sometimes we have to give up what we've been holding on to so dearly so that we can embrace the love, embrace the peace, embrace a new way of being in the world and expressing ourselves such that others see that we're actually living the way we want to be living. What if everybody approached everybody with love? Can you imagine what the streets of the world would be like if there was love everywhere? I mean, you know, Jesus was asked, and in my Bible study classes in ministerial school, I found out, and some of my own reading, that he was really just quoting Isaiah, which is Old Testament stuff. But, you know, what are the two greatest commandments? He said to love the Lord thy God with all your heart. Ernest Holmes is telling us to go to the infinite, to love the infinite, to be in the infinite and accept ourselves there. And then he said to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor. It's a golden rule. There's a poster outside. There's another one that I used to have, but I don't know where it is anymore, that had like 17 religions represented and their own statements of that golden rule. I mean, if you're going to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, are you going to hit them, hurt them, rob them, curse them? I mean, do any of you seek that out as behaviors you want to have done unto you? I mean, would you like to be beaten up when you go down the street or any? No. I mean, that's enough to undergird every law in the world, right? So let's live it. Let's be it. Let's be the embodiment intentionally of the infinite, expressing that love in every space and every place we go. This is actually what I realized last night, and it was what I started with, talking about people asking, you know, how do I respond in love to what's going on in the world? I think I finally found my answer. You know, you guys you think we just sort of magically come up here and, you know, we have talks come to us. Not so much, right? It takes some evolvement and really being in touch with, can I say that and have that be consistent with the way I feel and the way I act? I remember being asked by several different people over time, you know, it's like, how do you choose to spend time with this one or that one? And, you know, or your attention, and it's like, I can't discern. If I'm here to love, if I'm here to be a space for love, if I'm here to be a space of love and support, then everyone is welcome. So to live that, to be that, to express that in the world becomes the path, the work that we all have to do. You know, practitioners have been doing it for, you know, by the time you get that name tag, you know, it's well over 4 years of classes and study and commitment and conversion. And not necessarily conversion from another faith, but conversion of ways of being. And I had, what time am I supposed to be done? Oh, you know, I always notice the clock is there, but I always forget to look at it. So, Patrick started us with the quote, and the January daily guides were written by Margaret Storch, who's written a lot of the early Science of Mind classes. And every day, her affirmation started with, the divine good fulfills me, always has, always will, and I accept it every day. In the first couple of days, I thought, and I said to Jan, because we read them out loud every day, I said, God, I think I'm kind of getting tired of that. And by maybe the fifth or sixth day, it's like, oh, I like being reminded of that every day. So, and this is in this morning's daily guide, or today's, and it's Raymond Anderson, who is a pot stirrer. I would say, if you read his daily guide, he's saying, what are you doing to demonstrate that you truly are a believer of science mind and practicing the principles of science and mind. But what he says this morning is, I honor where I am from, be that the culture and pride of a city, country, or family. I celebrate my superhero origin story because with awareness comes great power. So if we become aware of the love, we become aware of the peace that we can express in, through, and as ourselves, as we move through this world, we can live it from a higher space of being. Let's take a moment to anchor this in prayer and just know that there is one presence, one power, one activity, one flow, one universal mind that moves and has its beingness as each and every one of us right here. It is that love intelligence that governs the universe that allows us to know that there is only one. There's only one of us. There is only the love of us, the peace of us, the joy of us. We stand in this place of knowing that there is absolutely no otherness. What we see is what we are. What we are is what we see. We express it. We flow in it. We move in it. And there is a great joy and celebration in the world as each one of us grows into that space of who we truly are, that steps into that role of being the love, the joy, the peace that passes all human understanding. It is that centeredness that allows us to be still and know in every moment. So I know that this is the truth of each and every one of us. It is the truth that is at the depth of your being, seeking to express out into the world. You may not see it today, but it is coming more and more each time you practice being still, each time you practice giving that hug and knowing that you are in the space of love and joy with each and every other being. So I'm grateful to know this, grateful to speak it, grateful to release this word into the infinite law of being, knowing that it is already done. And we can say in agreement, and so it is.